Hello everybody, Grizzly Pig here, welcome to today's episode. And if you watched my last mega chest run video where we do just over 60 chests in about an hour, well, the run just got even quicker, even better, because in today's video I'm giving you an update. I'm going to show you all the things I do that make this even quicker. This run you see here today is done in about 50 minutes, and we've got some improvements that are basically going to be the monstrous turkey leg we're going to be using. So we're adding a bit more luck onto our runs now, and this chest run is my second last one before I post up my video where I do another 2,500 chests to show you what sort of loot you can get doing this chest run, but we're adding that turkey leg on there. We're going to see if we get some improvements or not, and you can see in a practical sense I'm showing you exactly the loot I'll be getting from that. So stay tuned for that. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to see how that turns out for me. That's just around the corner of that video. So throughout the video I'm going to be talking about the things I'm doing here and there, like how I'm killing the mobs and stuff like that. I'm also going to show you some of the things that I've changed here and there, little bits that have helped bring this run down massively in time. An extra 10 minutes, well, that's time to go off and make a cup of tea and have a bit of lunch, to be honest with you, so that's really great. At the end of the video I will show you my luck gear and you can see the stats I'm using, but basically in a nutshell we have swapped over from killing stuff with our sword and shield. I don't really do anything with the sword and shield anymore as far as damage is concerned. We have swapped over to bleed rapier, and for that I am using the finisher rapier, and our rotation is basically on the big lost spirit mobs here. We are doing Tondo, Flurry, Tondo, F and F, Flourish and Finish right there. And then for the smaller, easier mobs, if we have to fight those, it's going to be a lot simpler. We're literally going to be doing Tondo, Flourish and then F and F again. And the reason we're using the pure rapier bleed build here is because with the Tondo build, as we're playing solo, it's a lot quicker getting those bleeds on, and ultimately you will see when we fight the mobs it absolutely destroys them when we get our finish off there. It is absolutely crazy. We are still a bit squishy. I've had to change some parts out to make this work, to get the intellect on there and get the dexterity and strength out there. We've still got some residual strength from our sword that we are still using. Swap that out if you want to, because the sword is possibly not even working anyway. A lot of people are saying that it doesn't work, but I'm pretty sure the shield does anyway. So still you will want a sword and shield for this and loot the chests with the sword and shield active. But we'll talk more in detail about the bleed rotation anyway when we get to some mobs. But at the minute you can see that I'm a lot faster on my mount, and that's because I've been working on my riding skill. I've got that up to 200, and with that, that's allowed me to be quicker on the mount. And I've also got myself the powerful Magis mount charm here. You can get this from Lazarus. Run it on M1, you will get that eventually. In fact, I think I got that like without even trying. Lazarus M1, go out there and get that, because that basically just makes you faster on your mount, so you can't go wrong with that. And secondly, I've got myself the powerful Cavalier crest as well, and you get that from the Savage Divide. Again, just run that in M1 and smash that out. Eventually you get it. I got this actually, I was going for it, I think it was like my 5th or 6th attempt, but then I've had some runs recently where I've just been doing them randomly for my dailies, and I even managed to get 2 in one run. It's really nuts. At the end I got 1 drop from the boss and then from a chest as well, so crazy weird luck going on like that. Like when you don't need something you get it. That's just how it goes. There is going to be a slight difference in a couple of the chests I'm doing here now, just because I find it easier to skip one and do an extra one here or there, but ultimately it equates to the same run pretty much. I'm going to be skipping the mithril ore and the sandstone, another thing that makes it a little bit quicker, but I am in an int build here, so to be honest with you I'd rather just not bother with those, because strength is really the stat to have if you're a miner. But in the other chest run video, basically you can see I've put some maps up there to show you precisely where the chests are located, so refer back to that one if you want to see maps on everything there. It's still very useful, but I don't talk in that video. It's basically just music and maps, and that's it. Just chill video of doing the chest run there. I will link that video in the description below. I will also link the other video I did where I show you exactly what I got out of just over 2,500 chests from this run. So if you want to watch that before my next video comes out, where I do exactly the same thing but I add the turkey, roast turkey dinner there, then That will be interesting to compare the two. I will be actually comparing those in the next video, but you can see for yourself. Anyway, look at the bleed rapier right here. You can see that it just absolutely wrecks these ghosts here. And all of these things that I'm doing to speed up this run are all in part helping together to bring it down. But I would say changing to the bleed rapier is the biggest change and probably knocks the time down the most, because we're just killing those mobs so much quicker. Another thing that's helped as well is we've had a server merge, which means there's a lot more people running this chest, and that's why I don't run the PvP, because I've got the turkey, which gives me more luck, and if I end up fighting, well, it defeats the object of doing the chest run at all quick, to be honest with you. So I don't do PvP. It's the only thing that I'm not doing, but if you want to do that, go ahead. Sure, I can't not recommend it. But yeah, you're gonna be fighting every now and then, and sometimes you're gonna get banged by like 3 people who are going together, or maybe a whole train if you're really unlucky. Has happened to me before. But yeah, more people on the server means that the chests are being opened a lot more. So sometimes you can just go right up to a chest and loot it. You don't have to take the lid off. You don't have to kill the mob. You just loot the chest, and that is super helpful in the glob spot. I tell you that now. That can really bring the time down a lot if all of the chests have been capped. So you can see so far on the run, the chests have been pretty spread apart, but they get really stacked up, and ultimately in 50 minutes, if you get over 60 chests, that's one chest in less than a minute, one chest per minute or less, or whatever. And you can see here with the bleed rapier, it's really not a problem for us having to kill these mobs. So even if there aren't people capping the chest there, it's still really not a problem at all. Anyway, I'm just going to take a moment to show you quickly what the bleed rapier build looks like in the masteries tree right there. So we've basically got all the moves from the blood tree. So like I said, pure bleed rapier build with the tondo, the flourish and finish, and the flurry as well. We're not running leech and flurry perk on anything here, but we do have on the finisher the tondo and the F&F perk that we get with the finisher. And I'll try and use the mount wherever I can, because it's super quick to get on it now that we've got these legendary, the charm and the crest, and that is just really nice. Don't forget to pick up your iron here. Always grab this. I know I said I skip the mithril, but I never skip iron, because this stuff can be expensive to buy, and you do want to be using this every day to get your prismatic ingots. If you don't craft anything else other prismatic stuff, then definitely do your prismatic ingots every day. I do recommend it. We're also going to be grabbing those crates as well. Like some of them we're going to be skipping. You're not going to see me pick up generally any more than I used to, but it is important to get these crates because of the sandpaper, the flux and all that stuff. Again, if you have to buy that stuff in and do your crafting daily, it is going to be super expensive. So getting those costs down, it's all part of how you make money really. There's no point in getting these trophy materials drop and stuff like that if you are not getting these other chests and you're having to spend money on the flux and the sandpaper. And here's where the chest run starts to get nice, because we're very often getting the chests like in pairs or clumps or whatever, so it's super nice now. So we'll talk a bit more in detail about the bleed rotation here. So basically with these big mobs, what I'm actually doing, if you watch carefully, is usually I'm opening with a heavy attack, tondo, flurry, then a light attack, then a tondo, and then F and F will finish off the mob. The reason I'm doing that light attack between the flurry and the second tondo is because we're not prioritizing refreshing and we don't have nimble coat on, so our cooldown timer is a little bit higher than if we were doing a pure DPS bleed rapier build. It is still, for all intents and purposes, a pure bleed rapier build because we're using the tondo, but we don't quite have the refreshing there. So that's actually what's going on there. I'm just putting that extra light attack in there just to bridge the gap, because sometimes the mob might just end up with a sliver of life, and if you weave that extra light attack in, you never know, that might be what does it to finish it off. Because there's nothing more annoying than doing your finisher and then the mob is on a sliver of HP and then it blows up in your face. And it will blow up in your face because when you use the flourish and finish, the bleeds are off the target at that point. There's no more damage going off them. Like I used to when I was using the sword and shield and the spear, I would, if the mob like had a little bit of HP left, I'd leave it and I'd be like, yeah, well that's okay because it's bleeding, and by the time it comes to me, and it's not going to mess me up when I'm looting the chest. Anyway, so the reason we do tondo, flurry, tondo before we do our F and F is that with those moves there, the tondo is going to put a bleed on, then the flurry, then we're going to apply another bleed with tondo. We're at 3 bleeds, that's the most you can have. And when you have those 3 on there, when you finally do your finish, it's going to do the most amount of damage, and that's what allows us to absolutely explode those chest mobs. Slightly different to the Evade Rapier build. We don't use Evade, of course, here. And even a lot of Bleed Rapier builds that are used in dungeons and raids, etc., they don't actually make use of Tondo because there's more people applying the bleeds. But here, we are the only one applying the bleeds for the most part, so we have to get all 3 on there to make sure we get the most out of our flourish and finish ability at the end. So you can see here we're skipping the mithril. That helps out a bit. That's going to save us, I don't know, probably a minute off the run. Well, probably not even that, but... And you're going to see me fight this lion here, and this is a large mob, so we're going to use the same rotation on this as we do with the ghouls as well, because they're a bigger mob. Also getting more efficient with our jumps and stuff. With the sword you can use your leap there and really do some crazy stuff there to jump about the place. Super nice. And you can see I was distracted talking about the Bleed Rapier rotation there, but we did get ourselves the Precision Engineering tools. That's our first trophy. Always avoid fighting these skeletons if you can. You want to position yourself in a way where it doesn't wake them up. That one will wake up, but we're probably going to ignore it because it does retreat pretty quickly. You don't have to go that far. So you can see with these little chests here with the ancient skeletons, it's all about positioning with them, because when they spawn, if you are at the opposite side of the chest, you'll just leave it be. It'll go back to sleep and you can ignore it. If you like my nice new skin there as well. I run out of black dye, but we'll get there. We've got the Battle Pass skin going on. I thought we're changing the armour, better have a new look as well. So we're going to hop on our mount after this chest, and we're going to head over to one which I think a lot of people skip, but I think it's well worth doing because it's actually super fast to loot, especially if you've got your riding skill right up to 200 and stuff like that, and you get the charm and the crest that I said about. So it's not really a problem. This one, definitely don't skip. There's a couple that I am going to skip and tell you about, but definitely don't skip this one. I wouldn't recommend. I mean, ultimately take or leave whatever you want, but this is my preference. And while we're getting this one, I want to talk more about the bleed rotation, because there's another rotation I use for targets that have got lower HP, like smaller mobs or whatever. It's particularly helpful when you've got a succession of these low HP mobs. Basically, it's going to be a shorter version of the main one that we use on the ghouls or the higher HP targets, but there's going to be no heavy attack at the start, there's going to be no light attack in between, and there's also only going to be one Tondo. It basically goes Tondo, Flurry, F and F. It's that simple. And the reason that works out nicely is because with lower HP targets, you don't necessarily need 3 bleeds to do them, because once you've done your Tondo and your Flurry, you've nearly got them down anyway, so all you have to do is give them a little tickle at the end of that with your F and F, and then you're done. So it's really nice. And then because of the way the Rapier is working with the cooldowns and how it all synergizes nicely, whenever you use the abilities and stuff, it reduces the cooldown of them, so you get the cooldown back a lot quicker, so you can use this pretty quickly soon after. So it's a really nice way to get low HP targets down effectively. So now we're heading up the top of the beds of Tar Bidjet, or however you say that. And as you notice, again, we're skipping a load of sandstone. I mean, it's already taken anyway, but as I say, I just don't bother getting it now. I haven't got the strength, and I've got absolutely tons of it. So a little bit of climbing, a bit of parkour to get up here, but it's well worth it because there is a nice number of chests up here. I think there's about 4. Yeah, so well worth coming up here. And there's an elite one as well if you want that too. And I do usually generally skip the elite chests because I'm all about the trophy materials. I don't even think I can actually open that one. I don't think I've got the glyph, but if someone was there and they were opening it, of course I'd loot it. You can get the scarabs drop from there and other cool stuff as well. So they are worth getting. It's just for this, I just don't bother because I want to get the stacked deck. I want to get a loaded dice, and you just don't get those from the elite chests. Another thing I've noticed that I've not touched on before as well is you get a lot of syncretic weapons drop from this run, from the mobs especially. And before I had so much luck, I was finding that actually I was getting the purple versions of them, but I have not had a purple version of a syncretic weapon or armor piece for as long as I can remember now. It's always legendary, so that's definitely having an effect on the drop quality of the syncretic stuff. Like, hands down, it absolutely is. It is always legendary what I'm getting now. So there's another elite chest to your left there, and there's people doing it, but I'm not going to bother going over there and do it just because I want to get this run done in 50 minutes. But on another day I might go over there and help them out and do it for sure, because it's all extra loot, whatever. But just clean these 2 mobs up. Sometimes you can actually get this chest without killing that mage, that frost mage there, and then get on your mount quick before he gets a hit off on you. And here's another elite chest right here. Again, take it or leave it if you want to, but I'll just skip it. It's just more hassle than it's worth anyway. I want to keep this quick run. Nice little ride across the desert. I find it so annoying the way the mount works here with the auto run. I don't use auto run generally because if I put it on, your mount just goes darting across randomly, like in random directions. I do sometimes put it on, just forgetting myself out of habit, and you'll see that happen. It just goes randomly. I don't know why. It's like, I guess it's a pathing issue, but when you're not on the road, it just goes mad. You can see that someone's catched both of these chests for me, so that's going to take the time down by maybe 5-10 seconds, whatever. Super nice. And what's really funny is these two chests here, they're right next to a spawn terminal, like a teleporter. So if you wanted to just cheekily get these chests, these two here, like between doing your battlegrounds or your OPR arena matches, or while you're waiting to queue for a dungeon or whatever, you can just grab those two. Like they cool down like every hour. It is, I think, these chests anyway. So even if you're not actively doing this chest run, you've got two right there, right next to a teleporter. Now this can be a little bit of an annoying one, but we've only got one mob to deal with here because there's been some people here. Makes it a little bit light, but just go up the top here and drop all the aggro right on these barrels, and then you should have like only the mob down there that's coming to us now. Like he's a bit of a boss, but dealing with him on his own is really easy. He's squishy enough to just take out. He does put a shield up. Some of these do. It's super annoying because like if you pop your F and F and he's got the shield up, then it won't work. What's nice to do here is try and avoid pulling those two mobs in the background. You can see like 9 times out of 10 you won't be able to do anything about it, and they will come and you have to deal with them, but if you cannot pull them, then that's great. And once we're done here, we're going to hop over the wall. Got 2 globs, that's really nice. That's like 500 gold, like free cash right there. I'm not selling my globs at the minute because they're going for quite a bad price. I just want to wait for the price to go back up and then I'll sell them all. Usually there's a lost spirit there to kill, but someone's killed that, so that was quicker as well. Yeah, the globs at the minute are selling like quite badly. Like that, people are posting them for 110 gold. Usually I don't really like to sell them for less than 220, 240. Sometimes they go even higher than that, so I'll just wait for the price to go back up and then I'll maybe put them back on. So we got another sprint across the desert here, where this is going to take us to one of the main spots, the ruins here, and there's a lot of climbing and stuff, but there are a lot of chests. It's definitely worth going to this place here. You can see it in the distance. And this is probably the longest stretch where we're going to be doing the riding, but while we're doing this, I'll just talk, just for full transparency. I will, as I said, link my gear at the end or show you that as part of the video, but we have got all luck on all of our gear with the pearls, and it's also on the bags as well. And I've also got the 3 major loot luck trophies as well as the turkey dinner. So that's basically in a nutshell what we're running here. And yeah, well worth it here. Still, you are going to get some blank runs from time to time. That's just how the RNG works with this stuff. Because if this stuff was really, oh, that's nice there. We've got the lumberjack token. So that's 2 trophy materials so far this run. So if we only have those 2, we still made some really nice money. I mean, the tracker's still probably selling for in excess of 5,000 gold. But yeah, we're going to draw blanks from time to time, but that's just how the RNG works. These things are worth a lot of money, some of them, and if you pull in them every single chest run or like all the time, then they're not going to be worth some money. So yeah, this is definitely a profession that if you invest your time into it, you're going to get loads and loads of money. So we take these 2 little chests, but I've just noticed this one's been capped, and before the lid goes back on, I'm just going to grab it quickly so that we don't have to go through that where we've got to lift the lid and fight the mob again. I'll tell you, I've not actually ever had a gold steel chest schematic drop. I'm still waiting for that. That's ultra rare. That's a world drop. Apparently you can get that in pretty much any elite chest or stockpile around the world, but I haven't seen one yet. Apparently it's like a 1 in 1.2 million drop chance. Don't know whether that's true or whatever, but that's yeah, crazy. I'll probably never see one of those, and if I do get one, I'll sell it straight away. People do buy those for quite a lot of money. Actually, I think they sell for more than the Gorgon schematics. I actually had a Gorgon schematic drop the other day from Medusa, the last boss there, is where you're going to get that from if you do, and they sell for in excess of 100, 200,000 gold sometimes, but yeah, the prices are very volatile on those. I do a lot of Gorgon. I'm probably going to post up a video about how I put the team together, because I do like to build my own teams a lot, and it's if you want a smooth quick run, you want to do it with randoms, then you really if you know how to build a team, it really helps a lot, and you should just go ahead and build your own team. If you know what you're doing and what to look for in your teammates, then you can get something really smooth. And doing it multiple times a week, you can get faction missions for Gorgon. If you're running it and you get it done in half an hour to 50 minutes or whatever, then it's worth doing just for the faction missions. You can do those daily. And I have heard from a source, not multiple sources, tell me what you guys think, but one person I spoke to the other day, he said that he got a schematic drop from Medusa, and it wasn't his first run that week. In fact, it was his second run of the day, and he got a schematic drop there. So if that is true, then Gorgon is definitely worth farming, maybe even. But only if you've got a good group, of course, because like if you don't have a good group, it could take absolutely ages. You can see there's a lot of little mobs around here to kill, but if you just use that light rotation that I showed earlier, then it's going to be really cleaning these mobs up very efficiently. So this part of the chest run, it's absolutely amazing spot. It's probably the second best, like after the glob spot. This is like the number one spot after that, so number 2 you'd say. So really crazy, loads of chests at this place. And after we've done this chest, we're going to hop on our mount and head up above us to the chest where there's a scorpion boss. And if there's the weather's right and the chest has been opened, then we can skip the scorpion boss and just hop onto the statue here. I'll show you what I mean. But yeah, just get on your mount and run over to it. And from the statue, what you can do is reset the spider boss and basically loot the chest. But if you can't do this here now, then you will have to kill him, but with this bleed rapier build, it is super easy. Problem is that when this chest spawns, the ad, if you have to open it, it faces you if you're on the statue, and you can't reset it because it'll just keep hitting you from the chest. So we got lucky there though, so that's nice. This is where the climbing starts now, and it starts to get a little bit interesting. But yeah, just go around here. I'm quite quick at this now because I've done it so many times, but if you're not familiar with this route, I would recommend not buzzing through it, but take your time, because if you fall off from the top, it's super annoying some places, depending on where you fall, to get back in and get started again. Especially running your turkey dinner, it can take you like 2 or 3 minutes to get back up to where you were if you fall outside in the desert. Some people do this route in a slightly different order, but I think this is probably the quickest order to do this in. I recommend. Just seems to make sense for me at least. I'm going to show you a chest here as well that I actually skipped on the main run, regrettably. I can't remember whether I just forgot to do it on that run or I didn't know it existed or whatever at the time, I don't know, but I'm going to show you that one and tell you where it is when we get to it. It's one of the last ones here, but we're not far out from there now. It's just, there's 2 chests right at the top of this place, and there's an elite one as well. And there also was an elite chest in the water just behind that statue where we looted that chest where we cheesed it as well. So if you want that, you can get it, but be careful there because the water is like acid, so you've got to actually jump on that chest and loot it carefully. Most people I see when they're doing these chest runs, they don't actually use the bleed rapier. They generally go for the blunderbuss, to be honest with you. It seems to be the most popular choice of weapon. I guess it's because they want to run the light, and if you are using the blunderbuss, you are a lot less likely to get hit, so maybe they like to have the damage component there. But for me, I just absolutely love this build. I'm sticking with this. No way I'm going to use a blunderbuss now. I mean, I know blunderbuss is absolutely busted. The damage on it is crazy. So here now, this is where it gets really heated with the climbing. So just pay attention to this and just work your way up, and you'll get quicker at this as you do it again. But yeah, just the main thing is just not falling off. So just take your time with it until you're familiar with it. And once you're at the top here, we're going to get those 2 chests. So it's worth it, definitely. Another thing I haven't spoken about as well is that I'm also running honing stone there. It's only a tier 4 one, I believe. They're a bit cheaper than the top tier ones. I wouldn't recommend using the powerful honing stone. I mean, you can even use a tier 2 one if you want to. It just gives you a little bit extra damage, just makes it a little bit more smooth there. I'm also using the second but last tier of the oak flesh balm as well, so the tier 4 one, and that's just, you can use that if you think you're going to be hitting like a bunch of mobs as well. You can pre-buff with the oak flesh balm and even a regeneration potion as well before you enter the fight. I sometimes do that. You'll see me do that from time to time. That's really handy to have. Make sure you got loads of your potions as well, like the red ones, because if you don't have any of those, it's going to not be such a fun time, to be honest with you, because you are definitely going to get hit by mobs here. you will use those very regularly. Do a little hop over here, and these 2 chests, we're going to take these. I can't open the elite chest, doesn't matter. If someone else is here and they open it for me, as I said, I will loot it, but I'm not generally that fussed about it. Be careful of your positioning when you're fighting these here, because if you're not careful, especially if you're using a sword, but potentially with F and F as well, if you miss, you go flying off the edge. So you want to position yourself in a way where you got yourself facing inwards and not facing outwards to the edge, because I fell off a couple of times. And watch my positioning here as well, because I try and get this quite well lined up. It's specifically on that tile there when I engage the boss, so that I've got the whole of that floor behind. And coming up after this chest here, we're going to take a massive jump down, and we're about to get that chest I was talking about, where you didn't see me do it in the last chest run, but it is basically, if you see that wall down the bottom, we're going to run all the way to the back of there. We're just going to mount up. It's going to be ever so quick. We have to kill a spider, or a scorpion rather, sorry, but he's really quick to kill. And then we take that chest, and then that's us nearly done here. We just got one more chest after this one, and then we're going to head over basically to the glob spot, but we've got a little stop to do just before we get to that one. Now, I think this is my 3rd chest run of the day today, and it's been going very lucky. You're going to have lucky days, you're going to have unlucky days or whatever, but on one of my runs, I think I had like 3 or 4 of the trophy materials. And on one of my runs today, I also already landed a stacked deck as well. And if that's the only thing you get on one of these chest runs and you're in the money, on my server at the minute, those are selling crazy. People are putting pre-orders in for like 29,000 gold at the minute, and people are selling them up for 32,000. So I just sold that straight to a buy order right there, because that's plenty of money, because the prices I was used to before have been like 21, 24,000 between there. So that's really nice. Yeah, I don't think I've had a blank run today actually, so that's been really beautiful. Prices of these trophy materials, they're ever so volatile. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down, sometimes the loaded dice is going to be selling for like 24,000 or whatever. Sometimes it's going to be right down to people selling it in general or whatever, and they want to only take like 15 for it. It's crazy. So when you do get a stacked deck or a loaded dice, definitely don't just sell them straight away if the prices are down or whatever. Like, you'll want to get to know how the prices are. There's a lot of trophy materials to get your head around the prices and stuff like that. But once you've been doing this a while, you'll get a feel for how the market is, and like some things in particular, like the notes on Aeternum fauna, that can sell really high. And if that's down at 2,000 gold, I probably wouldn't bother selling it at that moment, because I have sold plenty of those for in excess of 7, sometimes over 9,000 gold, those ones. So it's just a case of getting to fill the market. So on this chest here, you've got to watch out for the little ram boss here. He's incredibly hard, but he's a one shot. But if you get hit by him, it's devastating, because he'll knock you on your backside, and it's really just humiliating. You don't want that to happen, so be careful of him. So now we're just going to head over to this camp here, and this can be a bit tricky if you don't know what you're doing, but you can reset the mobs like incredibly easy just by hopping in the right place and safe spotting. So there's 3 chests in here, so you would just go run all the way right into the centre, just ignore all the mobs, get right up here, up the stairs, and then we're going to run right over the back of the ramparts to the back where you see this tent on the right, and we're just going to hop right up on these barrels. Do it as quickly as you can, get on this barrel, turn around, then put your shield up. These mobs here, they will just reset. Now, if there wasn't another person here to mess this up and stop me showing you, those mobs would just reset, and then you just grab this chest, not a problem. But yeah, you get the picture. And then, because he's got the aggro now, we don't have to drop aggro from them, because we would have re-aggroed. And what we do is we go up these steps here, and then we would have to reset on this little thing on the left there, but we don't have to do that. Just kill him quick, because he can be annoying. This mob can be a bit of a pain in the backside, because he shields up, and we don't like mobs with shields, because our F and F, we can waste it very often. So yeah, we can see so that's a waste. But yep, this is a little bit hairy. If there's a place where you want to maybe pre-buff, like your oak flesh balm, like to take less damage beforehand, definitely recommend doing it here, because it can go a bit wrong for you. And if you don't reset those mobs downstairs, it will just get worse as well. So, like, if you got aggro on those, you can see I did have actually some aggro on one that did get by. It's really weird around here. So yeah, this is the place where I generally would reset before taking that chest. I just go down that little bit there by the statue and then wait it out. It only takes about 5 seconds. This is the last chest in this little camp here. Grab this, then we're going to hop on our horse and head right over to the glob spot. And the glob spot is where it all happens. The chests at the glob spot, I think they're the same. Like, it doesn't really, I don't think there's any difference between any of these chests anywhere. But if you had to force my hand and I had to say, oh, if I was told that some chests are better than others and that was the case, then I'd say that the glob spot is where the best chests are. I've had the best luck there. I've had the most loaded dices and stacked decks, but that might just be because of the concentration of the chests there. It really is the best spot that we're heading to right now. So just a bit of a ride across the desert, but it is so worth it. This is the best spot coming up right now. And these globs that you get drop as well. As I say, I've got about like over 50 of them in my bag, but they really can sell for really nice money. So even if you don't get much stuff drop like trophy materials, like the globs are going to supplement and make it so that it's not been a complete waste of time. And you're still going to get the flux and the sandpaper as well. So I would never see it as a waste. Like a blank run is just how it happens. It's just how it is. You're just going to get them from time to time. So just think of it like that. It's all worth it in the end. So we're just going to pay attention here to this tree, because this big thing here, this is where we're going to jump down and we're going to collect our first chest right down the bottom. Some people do this in a different order, but as I say, this is the quickest I find, because it just puts them all in line as best as possible. Otherwise, like, I've tried doing it other ways, but to me it just feels like this is the line, this is the way to go. Just jump down here, do this one first, because this is well out of the way of the other chests as well. So if you don't do this one first, you're gonna have to run right down the bottom here and back again. Just makes no sense whatsoever. Very often you'll find there'll be a lot of people here, and this will take a minute or two off your run if there are, because the lids will be off. But since using the bleed rapier build as well, it's just, you're going to see how crazy it is here, because you're going to make full use of the damage here. We're going to use that light rotation, and we're just melting those fire ghouls so much that it's just crazy. Don't forget to check your bags every now and then, drop all your stuff if you're a bit unorganised like me and you've got loads of stuff in the bag. You see these mobs here, these mages, they're a light rotation. They look big, but they really look scarier than they actually are. They're really easy to kill. They're like even more squishy than these myrmidons, or whatever you call them. He's being a bit of a pain. I don't want to fall off the edge there, don't do that. You see that I didn't use F and F on him, I just let him bleed out. You see, if you've got bleeds, you can do that. But if you just use an F and F, you can't, so you have to do the job, get it done. Big damage. You can see those 3 numbers there, the white ones. There were 4, but the yellow one was the actual hit. But the 3 white ones there, they were the 3 bleeds bursting. What happens when you use F and F is all of those bleeds are ripped off the target and they just get exploded. Right, on these big mobs here, you want to really focus these guys and make sure you get 3 bleeds on this one for sure. Otherwise, they can be a bit of a pain. Treat those like a ghoul. They are a big mob. Definitely want to focus them. Sometimes it's a bit tricky to focus them though when they got those little ones about and you land the bleed on one of the little ones. It's super annoying. Yeah, I feel a little bit unlucky here because normally there's loads of people about and these chests are usually capped here now, especially since the merge. I mean, it's such a popular spot because there's like 9 or 10 chests here, like maybe more, I can't remember, I can't look. There's a lot. These mobs here, they got their back face, they're just looking out across the scenery. They are not going to attack you if you get that chest there, so that's bear that in mind, you don't have to worry about those. We can actually reset this little mob here, but we'll probably have to kill him anyway, so you can just kill him there if you want to, or it's up to you. But we're well over halfway on this chest run here, and actually we're even more than what it looks, because the luck buff you see there at the bottom, that is our timer for how long we've had that on, and I think we're going to do 50 minutes with this, so yeah, we've only got like another 15 minutes left of this run, so we're doing a really good job here at keeping ahead of the time. And this is where you want to use your eyes, because there's the chest behind us. It's like a symmetrical layout here. There's another one of these chests opposite, and what I'm going to do is eye that up, and if that looks like it's been lidded, I'm going to go over and get that first, but if it hasn't, then I will leave it and go and do the chests up the top, because what you want to do is take full advantage of other players and what they're doing as well to get their time down. Don't want to spend more time than you have to, obviously. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you have to take the lid off yourself and kill something, but who wants to waste time for no reason, eh? So here you can really see the light rotation absolutely shine, because these mobs just absolutely get obliterated with only 2 bleeds on them. We're just going to be running about like a madman here, killing all of these. No need to bunch them up at all, just super quick to kill on the spot. The same with these scorpions coming up. Again, light rotation, these, they are super squishy. There's 2 of those to deal with. And then there's also like a annoying little mob in the background there with the arms that he throws at you. He's so sometimes he hides at the back and you can't see him, but he is always there. And sometimes you'll aggro that other scorpion there. Not the end of the world, but try to avoid that if you can. Where we are now is perfectly safe. You can just see all those bleeds pop. It's really satisfying. Like when I was using the sword and shield, like it was quick enough, but this is just super fast, and just to see like most of its HP just drop in one go. But this is where I was talking about, where you got like 2 or 3 little mobs, and this guy is a bit of a pain to kill in that case, because it's hard to land the bleeds just on him, and he's obviously the one you want to get down super quick. But you can see it's not too bad, but you really got to watch your HP here, because as I say, I'm in medium load, but we're still quite squishy, and if we're not careful, we will die. We're on cooldown with all of our potions at the minute, so that's not cool, but we're just gonna blast through it. Yeah, I think these little mobs, they even could kill me if I'm not careful, you know, but we're just blasting through it. So like yeah, that's just the way it is when you're doing things super quick. Bit of a panicky moment there. So after this next chest, there is one downstairs that I looked over that we mustn't forget. We are going to have to go and get that, because I didn't get it. No one did pop the lid off it. So this is one of the last ones in this spot that we're going to grab here. Now, if you are strapped for time or whatever, and you wanted to end the chest run, like after these next couple of chests here, once you're done in the glob spot, I wouldn't blame you, because this is like the pinnacle of the run. Well, that's handy. Someone took the lid off for us while we were away. That's like super nice. So hop on your mount, and then there's just one more chest to grab here. Now we just have to climb up to get it. No mobs to kill for this. Just run up and just watch how we go up the stairs on the right and climb, and you won't get hit by anything. It's super quick. Yeah, I see a lot of people do this, and they just run around the side and try and climb up and stuff. They get hit by mobs, but you don't have to do that. Just get up on these boxes here. Just go straight to the chest. No need to mess about. Oh, I've made a lot of sandpaper, a lot of flux today. It's super nice because that stuff sells, but sometimes it sells for over 6 gold a piece. It's really annoying when you have to buy it for that. If I haven't done like a chest run in a couple of days or whatever, it really hits me hard on my bank when I try and do my prismatic crafting. I'll tell you that now. So the place we're heading to now, there are 2 chests. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the first one, and then we're going to come back out the way we come, and then head around the back of the area, because if we go straight through, there's just a load of mobs, and just no need to really deal with them, to be honest with you. Just hop on your mount and then go where you need to. As you can see, light rotation coming into effect here, making things super quick. And this mob, like with the heavy rotation, he's pretty easy to take out, but yeah, I'm having some issues here. Don't know why, but he should be dead by now. And just watch out for these guys, because these ones, they do explode. So just hop out of the way, or just run away, whatever you need to do to avoid that explosion there. I think I said there was 2 chests in this place, but there's actually 3. There's 2 just in this specific spot, and then we're going to run around the back for a 3rd one. So really good spot as well, this. Now, you might have noticed I don't seem to have a lot of gold in my bags at the minute, but I've been spending it like nothing on different builds and stuff like that. So that is the reason why I've got a lot of builds. I've got the new Renbot build I'll be showing off at some stage. It's not my build, but it's one that I think gets overlooked a lot Obviously, I've built my bleed rapier build as well. I've got like nearly every build going pretty much. The only build I haven't got actually is a tank build. I've got all the stuff to do it, but I've got to like quest out like some of the artifacts and stuff, and I just need to pull my finger out with that one. So now we're going to hop on our mount, as you can see. Oh, go back for that bag because no, it's not a glob, but it could have been a glob, and you don't want to miss a glob. Yeah, I had like only about 10,000 gold this morning, so I thought I'll get some chest runs done and stuff like that. I got the stack deck and I'm back up to 40,000 before you know it. But last week I had about 400,000 gold in my bags, and I've definitely, like, if I wanted to, could have just sat it out and hit the gold cap quite easily, just doing this chest run. And maybe crafting the prismatic stuff as well, because I do make the matrices, like the weapons matrices, and I do sell them, so I do make quite a bit of money out of that. That gets me quite a lot, but I wouldn't be able to do it without the chest run because of the flux and all that stuff. But I don't sit on my money. I do spend it on the builds, but right now I feel like I'm at a point where, unless some crazy meta change is going off, then I won't need to spend loads of money. I also made a musket build as well. That's super expensive to build, like if you want to do it properly with all the rune glasses as well. I remember that costed me quite a lot of money. But yeah, that's where all my gold has gone into, like builds. Also, I helped Muggle build like a rapier build last week as well. I gave her some matrices and stuff, and that took a hit to my bank a little bit as well. But yeah, that's all sorted. She normally just does healing, but it'd be great if she can do DPS as well. In fact, she's done a few dungeons with me with the bleed rapier. And it's been super fast, like crazy, having 2 rapiers in a dungeon. It is like hands down the highest like DPS for that purpose, like in Gorgon or Exhibitions for sure. Absolutely crazy. So we just made our way through the swamp now, and we're going to take on the Croc boss here. And like the key to doing this is blocking at the right time. Don't rush it. You don't want to just be spamming all of your abilities. You need to block between your Tondo and your Flurry, between your Flurry and your Tondo, between that and your FNF. Make sure you block up, because if you don't block, he's just going to eat you alive, and then you get the free bleeds on him or whatever, then pop that FNF. You will have to do that rotation at least twice, because he's got quite a lot of HP. He's probably like the toughest mob that you'd have to deal with on this run, to be honest with you. But yeah, pretty easy if you just make use of your block. In fact, I actually made a bit of a meal out of that. He don't normally eat me as much. But yeah, just sometimes it's a bit tricky. He's got a bleeds as well. That's another thing that can really mess you up. Don't know why I skipped the turtle there. You usually take those they're very important for making the coatings and stuff, or wards or whatever, potions. I'd use a lot of ward and coatings for dungeons and Gorgon and stuff, so if you can make those, it definitely is cheaper. So now head up here. This is like one of the last spots we're going to hit. We've got 3 more spots to hit and then we're done. This next spot, there's 2 chests and they're right at the back in the temple, so we're basically just going to run right around the side of this place, drop down and only kill like as few mobs as we possibly need to get to those 2 chests there. If you take this route just right, then most of these mobs are going to be ones that you'll be able to kill very easily with the light rotation here. There's a mob protecting the chest at the back, but he's pretty easy to kill. He has a shield, so if you can avoid popping your FNF on him and save it for when the shield drops, then he's pretty easy to kill, but ultimately he's not going to be a problem. So behind us there's a big mob we don't really want to pull, because he's just you don't have to take him on if you can avoid it. In fact, there's 2. There's one to the right of us and to the left. You don't want to pull either of those if you can help. Again, as you see, light rotation. You don't have to pull that mob the other side of the door, just take this one. That one there will not see you. Looks like it will, but yeah, it's not going to be a problem. These 2 here, they both have a wind-up mechanic where they hit you and stag you with their swords, and just because they're both together it can be a little bit annoying, but they are very squishy, so take those out. And if you kill everything on the way just on their spawn point, then it's not going to be an issue, any of these, super easy. This guy is the guy here that can have his shield up and you can waste your FNF on him quite easily. But ultimately, the worst that's going to happen is you just have to do 2 rotations and then he's down, not a problem. And there are 2 little chests as well on the floor either side of these stairs. One of them is an alchemy chest. I don't generally take that one myself, but I do take the supply crate. You'll see me collect that after I've collected both of these chests here. And once we're done in this building, we're going to be hopping on our wharf again. We're going to be darting out over to, there's a ancient temple just around the corner. That's got 2 chests in. They're definitely worth getting. A little bit of a maze in there, like Indiana Jones vibes going on. So just go round the back of this building and take the right side of it, because the entrance to this next place is on the right side, and it'll just put you in the right place there. And you can actually see just there, before we jump down, the chest in the distance up the top on that balcony is the first chest we're going to be hitting. There is like a boss mob that we'll have to deal with. It's pretty simple to deal with, but sometimes it can be a bit annoying because we're going to reset most of the trash here now that we're running past. Don't know why I hopped off my mount there, but just stay on your mount if you can do, and just ignore all of these mobs. Run round through the back here. And instead of running through the middle there, we don't want to pull that boss if we can help it. So we're just going to follow right the way round anti-clockwise. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reset everything here now by hopping on this wall. This takes a little bit of practice. Do a little bit of a turn with your shield up and just wait here, sit it out for everything to retreat. Now, sometimes you'll have some archers and they'll take forever to reset. What you might want to do is actually just kill them, because they'll sometimes just be in this corner here and they'll be pretty easy to kill, and if you need to reset again afterwards, do that. But this boss now, like, he can teleport all over the place. He does like AoE stuff and those spinners or whatever. It can get a little bit hairy. You see he's just like teleported away, which gives me some time to kill the cats here. But just be careful of him, because you never know when he might just hit you out of the blue, like out of nowhere, and he can do a lot of damage to you. I'm just going to try my luck on the chest right here and see if I can grab that before he hits me. But nope, he did not let me, so we're going to have to go back in. And I'm going to reset again here now, because he's going to clap me for sure. Like, I have died on this mob a couple of times, I won't lie. But just go and reset him if you get low. You don't need to risk dying, especially if you're working on the clock with your turkey. Yeah, that's probably the worst I've ever handled that, to be honest. This is a great place to safe spot, because sometimes if you're just sitting up on top of the wall, you will get hit and you get knocked off the back. Super annoying to have to run all the way back round again. I've done that a load of times as well. I hate this chest, but I never skip it. And I'm not actually at full life yet either. Look, I'm already on the back foot. He's got me back down to half life. Probably going to have to reset it again, to be honest. It's just absolute mess. Like, what the hell is going on here? I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Just reset it. Just be safe. I'm pretty sure we'll get him next time, but yeah, is what it is. Don't judge. Here's where maybe a bit of extra constitution would help you out, but I'm not running any constitution. I do get a little bit from the turkey dinner. Maybe I've got some on my gear that's just residual from previous build, but I'm basically going all intelligence, the rest dexterity pretty much, just to get the damage out as high as possible. And there we go, he's down. You see, he's actually very squishy, to be honest with you. If you can not make a hash of it like I did, he's actually pretty simple. Like, as I say, the hardest mob certainly ain't that one. It's definitely the Croc, but yeah, what a mess. But yeah, that aside, come down here, because there's a little secret chest down the bottom here. You will need to pick up a glyph to unlock this door, but that was just in the room above us there. That's where you get that. So the first time you come here, you will have to kill those mobs in the previous room above. And you're against the clock here. Get these 3 chests really quickly, because that door will close on you if you're not quick enough. Be careful. Make sure that you are looting these chests and not skinning one of the little scorpions or whatever, because if you do that, then you get locked in. Now, we've only got 2 more chests to do, because I'm actually going to skip one of the chests here. There would be 3, but there's the ship with the empress on, and I'm going to skip her because I just find it really annoying. There's a little musket dude that gives you some aggro. And then even if you manage to skip that, then there's actually can get quite hairy on the ship with the empress and the pig and the 2 mobs guarding. So yeah, forget that one. Just go straight across the water here And these two chests are super easy. We just got to kill some ghouls, and it's all super squishy mobs. I climb right up this rubble here into the encampment. And the chest we want, first of all, is just on our right down here. And it's actually looking nice because we've got someone helping us out and killing the main mob there. So this chest doesn't spawn a mob when you open it, but there is actually one guarding it, like a fire one, as you can see. That guy's killing it, so we'll just grab that, and that's our second last one. We've got one more to grab. And well, you can see this is a 50-minute run, so we have knocked that time right down considerably with help of all these extra little bits I've been doing here and there. And you can actually skip this mob and all of the others. There is some more that spawn around here as well that someone's killed. You can skip them just by jumping over that fence there where the barrels are, sitting it out on the rock and then climbing back up again and then just looting it from the back here. So we did manage to get ourselves 2 trophy materials, so that's really good. We've got the tracker seal and the precision engineering tools, I believe. So that was a successful run. Sometimes you're going to get more than that. Sometimes you're not going to get nothing. Sometimes you might just get your stack deck, and that's what you're here for. But here's all my gear now. You can have a little look at this, pause it. You can see I've swapped it all out for intelligence stuff pretty much. And you can see my stat distribution down on the bottom there as well. And stay tuned because my next video is likely going to be showing you all the loot I got from my last 2,500 plus chests with the turkey roast dinner and all of this extra luck. Everything you've seen in this video, basically I've been running what that looks like over 2,500 plus chests there. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe and leave a comment, and I will see you guys in the next one.